With its unparalleled influence in the digital media landscape, YouTube proudly stands as a dominant force in video content creation and consumption. As of the first quarter of 2021, the platform boasted over 2 billion logged-in monthly users, with an astonishing billion-plus hours of video content consumed daily. While these statistics underscore YouTube's unassailable supremacy, they simultaneously cast light on the platform's complex and often problematic monetization mechanism and algorithmic operations, components that raise critical ethical concern. For content creators aspiring to monetize their creative output on YouTube, the path is strewn with formidable hurdles. They must amass at least 4,000 valid public watch hours within the last 12 months, attain a minimum of 1,000 subscribers, associate a linked AdSense account, and uphold strict compliance with all of YouTube's policies and guidelines. However, these stringent criteria lead to a stark monetization divide. An analysis conducted by Bloomberg paints a telling picture. It discovered that a staggering 97% of individuals attempting to make money on YouTube make less than the equivalent of the United States federal minimum wage of $7.25 per hour. Their analysis reveals that a staggering 97% of those trying to earn money on YouTube make less than $100 a month. Furthermore, Mathias Bärtl, a professor at Offenburg University of Applied Sciences, found in his research that 96.5% of aspiring YouTubers don't generate enough advertising revenue to surpass the United States poverty line. In tandem with this, according to Tubular Insights, a staggering 90% of all views on YouTube are channeled towards a tiny fraction of channels, approximately 3%. This situation creates a vast ocean of content creators who, while contributing valuable content to the platform and its user base, fail to secure direct financial compensation. Consider Alice, a dedicated digital historian who uploads meticulously crafted historical documentaries. Despite her educational content's tremendous value and the immense effort she invests in creating it, Alice struggles to meet the monetization threshold set by YouTube. Thousands of viewers enrich their historical understanding through her videos, but the revenue stream remains monopolized by YouTube, which runs advertisements on her videos. This dynamic eerily mirrors feudal labor practices, where serfs, the content creators of their time, toiled on lands owned by lords, the YouTube of the era, without receiving a fair share of the resulting prosperity. This historical comparison becomes more pronounced when examining YouTube's near-absolute control over its recommendation algorithm. This algorithm, a highly guarded secret, has the power to dictate which content gets the lion's share of exposure of it by impacting a creator's ability to fulfill the monetization prerequisites. Pew Research Center, in a comprehensive study, revealed that a whopping 70% of what people watch on YouTube is shaped by the platform's recommendation algorithm. This algorithmic influence means creators like Alice are essentially at the mercy of a system that significantly influences their visibility, potential income, and livelihoods, but remains largely non-transparent. To provide perspective, a study from the Pew Research Center found that just over 10% of YouTube channels ever make it past the 100 subscribers mark, a fundamental milestone on the path to monetization. This predicament further amplifies the feudal dynamics at play, with the algorithm acting as an inscrutable steward, deciding which serf's work gets showcased in the Lord's court. Drawing parallels to historical structures, the situation is reminiscent of the enclosure movements of the 18th century. Land, previously accessible for common use, was enclosed, primarily benefiting the elite while disproportionately impacting the marginalized. Similarly, the vast digital landscape of YouTube is algorithmically enclosed, with visibility and profits often skewed towards a small fraction of creators. Some contend that YouTube, as a private entity, has the right to establish its rules and algorithms. However, given that YouTube functions akin to a public square for video content in the digital era, this perspective overlooks the power imbalance and the ethical considerations it raises. Content creators form the backbone of YouTube's ecosystem. Without the efforts of creators like Alice, YouTube would lack the very content that attracts its 2 billion users with no context for the ads that fuel its profits. This vital role, played by creators, necessitates a careful re-evaluation of YouTube's monetization policies and algorithmic decisions to balance profitability with fair recognition and compensation for creators' efforts. Addressing the ethical questions arising from YouTube's monetization and algorithmic practices is not only ethically sound, but also ensures the platform's sustainability. A digital ecosystem built on exploitation and opaque operations is not viable in the long term. As we tread deeper into the digital age, it's incumbent upon us to actively seek a fair and equitable digital landscape that rewards effort, fosters creativity, and respects the inherent dignity of all participants. These dynamics raise substantial ethical questions concerning fairness and equity in the digital age. The situation resembles the infamous 1889 Oklahoma land run, where thousands rushed to claim land, but only a few succeeded, while the railroad companies profiting from transporting the hopefuls made a certain fortune. Similarly, a large number of YouTubers invest considerable effort hoping to strike it rich with monetization, while YouTube, the provider of digital space, reaps substantial revenues. Though some argue that YouTube, as a private entity, has the right to set its own rules and algorithms, in an age where YouTube is an indispensable part of global media consumption, this perspective cannot ignore the significant power imbalance.